girls at my school were pregnant by the same guy. Let's get into it. So there was this one girl that went to my school. Let's call her Nami. Nami was the definition of problematic. She beat up everybody. Talked the most shit because she knew she could back it up. Yeah, my good sis Nami, she wasn't strong. She was strong. Another thing about her is that she was the plug for everything. She had chargers. She had food. She was the plug for everybody. There was this one really popular boy at our school. He was like the finest boy at our school. Now, mind you, Nami was not that cute. But he started messing with Nami and everybody knew that he was playing her. She swore up and down that everybody was just mad. That everybody was just a hater. He was a player and a heartbreaker, child. We knew what was up. Well, rumors started going around that Nami was pregnant. But she never confirmed it until she got word that that popular guy that she was messing with another girl. Well, rumors started going around that that girl was pregnant too. Nami was not having it. She took it upon herself to start going off on her Instagram story. Started posting receipts. In one post, she confirmed that she was pregnant. She also said she was going to beat up that girl the next day. They had to call the ambulance. Part 2 of how 2 girls at my school were pregnant by the same guy. Let's jump right into it. So like I said, Nami was going off on her Instagram story. Confirmed that she was pregnant. She said that she was going to beat up that other girl that her man was messing with the next day. The next day came, babes. It came. Baby, I was just walking the second period and I see Nami. Drop her shit and start swinging. She's going crazy. When I tell y'all this girl can fight, well, the other girl got beat up pretty bad and they had to call an ambulance. Multiple ambulances. And apparently that girl was pregnant, but she ended up losing her baby in the fight. But also because it's graphic because the other girl lost her baby during that fight. Things only got worse from there. But apparently this complete other girl was also pregnant by Nami's man. Nami was not having it. Since Nami got expelled because she beat up that other girl so bad, she pulled up to this new girl's house. This is where things get insane. Part 3 of how 2 girls in my school were pregnant by the same guy. So like I said, Nami got word that this other girl was pregnant by her boyfriend too. She pulled up to this girl's house and whooped her ass too. That girl didn't lose her baby, but turns out it wasn't even Nami's boyfriend's baby. It was somebody else's baby. Hopefully that girl was okay. Everything was fine. Well, after that, Nami just like disappeared for a while. Everyone was confused. We were like, Nami, she talks shit every single day. People even got a hold of her friends and her friends didn't know where she was at either. She wasn't posting on social media. Literally nobody was in contact with her. She just went ghost. Well, eventually, apparently she had a fallout with her best friend. And her best friend felt that she was done dirty by Nami. So, she took it upon herself to start spilling some tea on her Instagram story. She let everybody know why Nami went ghost. She said Nami told all of her friends to keep this a secret. She wasn't going to keep it a secret no more because that ain't her friend no more. She said Nami was too embarrassed to come back to social media because she had gotten into a car crash and lost her baby.
My boyfriend showed up to my house randomly one day. I had just woken up and I got ready so fast in my room. Mom told him that he could wait in the living room. She ended up jumping in the shower. I went outside to the living room and we ended up going to his house. And I was there. My mom called me. She said that there was $350 on the table and that one $50 bill was missing. I couldn't believe what I was hearing, but I had to find out the truth. So I told him to take me to Jack in the Box. We went through the drive-thru. I was so mad, but I had to keep it together. I knew that he only paid with 20s. He never paid with 50s. I ordered my food and I was waiting to see what bill he pulled out. And guess what, guys? It was a $50 bill. Then I looked at him and told him, don't pay with my mom's money. I grabbed my purse, pulled out a 20, and told him, pay with my money. His eyes just popped open. He knew he got caught.
Story time. I'm really freaking petty. So this year, my boyfriend's friend group from college did a Secret Santa gift exchange, and I'm super excited to be a part of it. I really like all of his friends, but one friend in particular kind of hurt my feelings a little bit by giving me the ultimate diss. This man unfollowed me on Instagram. I know this is really stupid, but to me, the message that sends is, I don't like you, I don't care about your life, and the mere sight of your photos makes me sick. And now I know you're rolling your eyes because my boyfriend is too. So guess who I draw for Secret Santa? Oh, you guessed it. So obviously, I had to address the elephant in the room. I got him a very nice gift, just with a little splash of petty. So the little card that I got him says, Merry Christmas, Miss Birmingham, which is me, cordially invites you to refollow her on Instagram. That's us. I photoshopped it. And then it says, why can't we be friends? That's also us. By the way, I did get my boyfriend's approval to do this. Correct, Sam?
You didn't need my approval, Anna. You were going to do it anyway. Because you're petty.
We'll see if he refollows me.
This story time is about why I refused to ever live in a college dorm room. So my sophomore year, I was able to get a room with my best friend Tiana. I was happy because we always talked about getting a room together, but sooner or later, I realized it was a big mistake. There was one time I let her borrow my Ugg boots because it was cold outside, but she started wearing them every day. When she finally returned them, they were wet and dirty. I was irritated, and she said that she would give me the money to get new ones, but she never did. She then started asking if she could borrow a shirt. Me being nice, I let her. But She then started taking advantage. Girl was taking all of my things without permission. My jacket, pants, shorts, everything. And she wouldn't even clean them before giving them back to me. I confronted her about it, and she got mad at me saying it wasn't a big deal. A couple weeks later, I confronted her again about my things going missing, and she pretended not to know. When she turned around to leave the room, I looked down, stole my damn underwear. Story time of how my parents forced me to marry a 40-year-old man when I was 14, but most people from my country, it is called arranged marriage, and it happened to a lot of girls. My family was poor, but the guy I was marrying had a lot of money and promised to take care of me and my family. He also had a 6-year-old son, but he didn't like me. I had met him once before when my mother introduced him to us. She allowed me to stay with him alone. He was very touchy. He told me I was very beautiful and would spoil me because pretty girls like me deserve pretty things. After he left, I told my parents that I was scared to marry him and that I'll do more housework and I'll take care of my other little sisters. My father yelled at me and told me no. So the next week, I went throughout the whole wedding crying. My mom told me to stop because I was messing up my makeup. After we had got married, a couple months later, he grew very abusive. This is part 2 of how my parents forced me to marry a 40-year-old man and I was 14. So we got married, and a couple months into the relationship, he became abusive. Whenever my food tasted nasty or something wasn't clean, he called me a lazy wife and told me I was no good and he should have married someone else. His 6-year-old son had no respect for me. The little boy scratched me, would yell at me, throw stuff at me, and my husband wouldn't do anything about it. I would tell him that I didn't like how his son was treating me, and he stood up and tells me to stay in my place and tells me I'm just a bad mother. I'd cried every night, wishing I could go back home to my mother and father. 2 years later, when I turned 16, I found out I was pregnant. He was so happy about it, and for once, he treated me so sweet. He would cook for me, clean, and told his son to be nice because his little brother was in there. When we found out the baby was a girl, he got mad and walked out on me. This is part 3 of how my parents forced me to marry a 40-year-old man and I was 14. So my husband was excited that I was pregnant, but when he found out I was having a baby girl, he got very upset and walked out of the room. When we got home, he started treating me nasty again. He then started putting his hands on me. He was just very angry at me and never wanted to see his daughter. It took him 3 weeks before picking her up. But even then, he wanted nothing to do with her. As years went on, I became quiet, and I wouldn't speak to him. I would just make sure our home was clean and the children were taken care of. He would just get upset with me that I wouldn't speak to him and accuse me of cheating. He claimed that I was sleeping with other men and that our daughter is probably not even his child. I never understood why, because I was always home because he didn't allow me to go out. But I soon realized he only accused me of cheating because he was cheating the entire time. This is part 4 of how my parents forced me to marry a 40-year-old man and I was 14. My husband would always accuse me of cheating, but I found out he only accused me because he was cheating on me the entire time. Ended up finding out because his son told me. And like I said earlier, his son never liked me in the first place. So when I had made him upset, he randomly said that's why my dad has a new woman. I was off about it, so I went to ask my husband about it, and he admitted to it. He was very blunt about it, and he told me it was because the lady tempted him. I believed him at the time, but as time grew on, I started to become very insecure. I'd do whatever he wanted, because he still kept stepping out of our marriage. On my 19th birthday is when I realized I had to figure out a way for me and my daughter to leave him. He didn't even say happy birthday to me, and that was my husband. I had no money, I didn't own anything, but I took a chance, so I packed whatever I could, and I planned for me and my daughter to run away while he went to work. This is part 5 of how my parents forced me to marry a 40-year-old man and I was 14. So like I said before, I made a plan for me and my daughter to run away while he went to work. When he left, I packed up food, clothes, and took money that we saved up just in case something happened. I woke my daughter up out of her sleep and I told her we need to go. I woke up son up and I told him we were going to the store and that we would be right back. He went right back to sleep and I gathered our things and took me and my daughter to the train station. She asked where we were going and I told her we were going to see our other family. When we got on the train, my daughter went to sleep and I cried because of all the pain I was put through with my husband. I left and I wasn't able to say goodbye to my mother, father, or any of my younger sisters. I didn't want any of them to know because I knew they were going to try to send me back. And leaving was the best decision that I made of my life. It's now been 23 years and I found my now husband and we're living a better life. and I bless God for allowing me to.
Story time about my shitty ass ex-boyfriend. So a little background information. My ex and I have been dating for about 2 years. And throughout those 2 years, he would cheat on me, talk to other girls more than me. But of course, I pretended that everything was perfect in my relationship. I would brag to all these people about how my relationship was so good, blah, 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 and everything else. Because it's embarrassing because your relationship is very toxic. Like, listen to this. The whole 2 years we were dating, I had over 10 girls DM me on Instagram saying that they screwed my boyfriend at his house. I never confronted him about it. I was just one of those girls that cared way too much about what everybody else thought. Okay, now fast forward. And it was a Friday at school, and Thanksgiving break was the following day. And him and I had this whole plan to spend the whole break together, because literally a week before that, he was on vacation in North Carolina for 2 whole weeks. Well, instead of going with him after school, I decided to go home, get an overnight bath. Part 2 about my shitty ex-boyfriend. So like I said, the original plan was for us to go together to his house after school. But I was like, I'm going to be spending the whole week over there. I should probably pack some clothes and get a shower. So after school, he drove me to my house. And he said that his parents wanted to have dinner together, so he had to go back to his house. And he would pick me up later. So when I got to my house, I got ready and everything, blah, blah, blah. And by this time, it was like 8 o'clock. So I kept texting and calling him, asking him where he's at, if he's coming to get me still. Then I realized that none of my text messages were going through. So then I go to text him on Snap. And what do you know? I couldn't find him on there. And then I call him off my mom's phone. He answers the phone and hangs up right away. Well, we were supposed to have a little party at his house too, that all of my friends were going to. So I texted every single one of them. None of them answered the phone. And I remembered that my one friend had shared her location with me before. So I went and looked at her location and where was she at? My boyfriend's house. So while I sat at home crying that whole week, he was throwing parties and cheating on me with my friends. And when we went back to school, he acted like we were never in a relationship. Crazy story time about how I found my aunt and my boyfriend hooking up at a family function. So every year, my mom and stepdad would have a Christmas